Hi friends, this is me Payal Dutta, and in today's video I am going to help you with the line by line explanation of Act 3 Scene 1 of Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. So without delaying much time, let us quickly start the scene. Now you must always remember where the scene takes place and who all are present in the scene. So this scene, Act 3, Scene 1, it takes place in Rome in front of the Capitol. So you remember Caesar was supposed to go to the Senate House? So that is the day. This scene takes place on the 15th of March, the Ides of March. Okay. Now a crowd of people in the street leading to the Capitol. So everyone is walking towards the Senate House. Among them you have Artemidorus and the Soothsayer. Now you remember Artemidorus? He was the one who had a written petition for Caesar. And the Soothsayer, he had a verbal petition for Caesar. So both of them had come and they were among the crowd and they had come to warn Caesar. And because it is a grand ceremony that is taking place, you have the trumpets blowing. And on stage, you have Caesar, Brutus, Cassius, Casca, Decius, Metellus, Tribunus, Cinna, Antony, Lepidus, Popilius, and Publius, and all the other common people, all the other Romans. Now, when Caesar, he sees the Soothsayer among the crowd, he goes to him and says, "The Ides of March are come." So he is actually trying to mock, or rather you can say, Caesar, he is so overconfident about his immortality that he is mocking the Soothsayer about what he had told him before. So he says that, look, the Ides of March, that is the middle of March, the 15th of March, it has come. And I am walking freely to the Senate House. Nothing has happened to me. So the Soothsayer says, "I, Caesar, but not gone." That is, that yes, the day has come, but the day is not over yet. So don't be so overconfident about yourself. Then Artemidorus, he says, "Hail Caesar." So he is greeting Caesar with hail. Read this schedule. So schedule means letter. So Artemidorus, you remember he had a letter where he was warning Caesar about all the conspirators. And he said that if only fate be on your side, will you win? So here Artemidorus, he has brought that letter, that schedule for Caesar to read. So after Artemidorus gives the letter to Caesar, you have one of the conspirators, that is Decius Brutus. So Decius Brutus, what does he say? "Tribonius doth desire you all read at your best leisure this his humble suit." So Tribonius, he too had a document which he wanted to present to Caesar. And he had sent that document in Decius's hand. So Decius takes that document to Caesar and he says that Tribonius doth desire. Desire means that Tribonius wishes you to all read them. So Caesar, Tribonius wants you to go through, to all read this document that he has sent for you. At your best leisure. In your free time. In your best leisure means in your free time. This his humble suit. So this is his humble request. So he requests you to read his document in your free time. Then Artemidorus says, "Oh Caesar, read mine first. Please read my schedule first. and then Trebonius's. For mine's a suit, for mine's a request that touches Caesar nearer. So, the request that I have written for you in the letter, it touches Caesar nearer. It is going to affect you personally. It is a personal request. It has got something to do about you. So read it, great Caesar. And Caesar says, what touches us ourselves shall be served last. So here you can see the patriotic side of Caesar. He says that whatever touches us, that is whatever concerns us, that shall be last served. That should be dealt with in the end. So I will look into my private concerns later. Right now I am going to the Senate House, and so public concerns come first. First I need to see what Rome demands from me, and then I will look into my private matters. Then Artemidorus says, delay not, Caesar, read it instantly. So please hurry and read it. You must read it immediately, instantly. And Caesar says, what? Is the fellow mad? Publius, Sirrah, give place. Caesar, what urge you your petitions in the street? Come to the Capitol. So you see, Artemidorus, he's continuously telling Caesar to read the schedule, to read the letter. And so Caesar is thinking that this person, this commoner, Artemidorus, he must be mad because he is forcing him. And then Publius was one of the senators. By senators, you mean the magistrates of Rome. So he too was going to the Senate House along with Caesar. So Publius is asking Artemidorus, he's addressing him as Sirrah, that is fellow, to give place, that is move away from us, let us go to the Senate House. Give way to us. And Caesar is telling Artemidorus, what urges you, that what is forcing you, what is compelling you to give me your petition in the streets of Rome? Come to me at the Capitol, and in the Capitol I will definitely read your letter. But right now, let me go ahead. And without listening to what Artemidorus has to say, without paying heed to the letter, dismissing him, what does Caesar do? Caesar goes up to the Senate House, and all the others, that is all the senators, the Romans, the conspirators, they all follow him. And then you have Popilius, who spots Cassius in the crowd. Now Popilius Lena, he too was a senator, a magistrate. And you have Cassius. So Popilius, when he sees Cassius, he says, I wish your enterprise today may thrive. That is, I wish that your enterprise, your plan, whatever plans you have for today, they may thrive. Thrive means to succeed. Now Popilius was a senator, and Cassius is now afraid, because Cassius thinks that their plan of assassinating Caesar, that has been disclosed. Else why would a senator come to him and say that let your plan succeed? So what plan is Popilius talking about? So Cassius directly asks him, what enterprise, Popilius? Meaning, what plan are you talking about? Popilius does not give a direct answer to that. What does he say? Fare you well, and he advances to Caesar. So he does not give an answer, and he goes on, he moves on to Caesar. And now because Cassius is afraid that their plan has been discovered, his face has a fear look in it. And so Brutus asks him, what said Popilius Lena? So what did he tell you that you look so faded? Cassius, he wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered. So Cassius is telling that he wished me that our plan may succeed. And because of that, I am afraid that our plan to stab Caesar, our plan to kill Caesar, that is discovered. Discovered means that has been revealed, that has been disclosed. And so Brutus says, look how he makes to Caesar, mark him. So let us look how Popilius, he advances to Caesar. Let us mark him, let us notice him. So by observing how he reacts with Caesar, the kind of conversation they are having, we will get to know about it. So Cassius then goes to Casca and says that Casca be sudden, for we fear prevention. Because Casca was given the duty to stab Caesar first. So Cassius says that when the assassination takes place, Casca, you must be quick, you must be swift, you must be sudden. Because if you are not quick, we might have someone who will hamper our plan. For we fear prevention. Prevention means we don't want any sort of hindrance, any sort of hampering in our execution of our plan. And then he tells Brutus, Brutus, what shall be done? That is, if our plan is disclosed, if Caesar gets to know what our plan is all about, what shall be done? What will we do? If this be known, that is, if our plan be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself. So if our plan is disclosed and Caesar gets to know about it, then we both will fight a duel. We will have a battle. So Cassius and Caesar, they will have a battle and never shall turn back. That I will not come back from that battle, because either I will win against Caesar or else I will slay myself. I will commit suicide. I will kill myself. So I will not retreat from that battle. So Brutus says, Cassius, be constant. That is, calm down, be steady, don't overthink so much. Because Popilius Lena speaks not of our purposes. That is, Popilius has no idea of our plan. He is not speaking about our plan with Caesar. And how does he know that? For look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change. So look at the way he is talking to Caesar. He is smiling. So maybe there is something good that he is speaking about. And Caesar doth not change. Doth not change means there is no change in the expression of Caesar. He is as happy as he was when he was walking towards the Senate house. And so Cassius, now he reminds Trebonius. Trebonius knows his time. For look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way. So what task was assigned to Trebonius? To remove Antony from Caesar's way. That is, in order to carry out the execution, you have to unguard Caesar. So Trebonius was given the duty to unguard Caesar. Because if Antony was present when Caesar was being stabbed, maybe he could save him. So in order to remove him from the assassination scene, you have Trebonius, who was assigned the duty to remove him from the way. So Trebonius knows his time. That is, he knows the right time. Because look, Brutus, what is he doing? He is drawing. He is removing Antony out of Caesar's way. And Trebonius and Antony, they leave. So you must remember that Trebonius was one of the conspirators who was not present. He was not present in the assassination scene. When they were being stabbed, when Caesar was being stabbed, Trebonius was the only conspirator who was not present. Why? Because he was given the duty to remove Antony from the scene. Then what happens? Decius says, where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go, and presently prefer his suit to Caesar. So now he is looking for Metellus Cimber. He is another conspirator. So he is saying that what should Metellus do right now? he should go to Caesar and presently prefer his suit. He should put forward. Prefer means to put forward his suit, his request. So Decius had a request, Metellus had a request which he had to make to Caesar. So Decius is telling, let Metellus Cimber go to Caesar right now, presently, currently, immediately, and put forward his request, his petition. Brutus says that he is called, that is, Metellus Cimber, he has been called. He has been addressed, he has been summoned. Press near and second him. So, now that Metellus Cimber, he has been called by Caesar, let us all, that is, all conspirators, let us press near and second him. Press near means to surround him and second him, that is, support him. So, while Metellus is making his plea, his petition to Caesar, we will surround Metellus and Caesar, and we will support Metellus. What if Caesar just refuses the petition? What will happen? We, the conspirators, we will support Metellus Cimber and make sure that the petition is granted. So Cinna says, Casca, you are the first that rears your hand. So you will be the first one to rear, to bring up your hand. That is, you will be the first one to stab Caesar. Then Caesar says, are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his senate must redress? So now Caesar, he is asking the senators and the Romans that what is now amiss? That is, what is out of order? Amiss means out of order. That Caesar and his senate must redress. Must redress means must rectify. So what has taken place in Rome that we, the senators, and I, Caesar, we have been called upon to save Rome from that which is out of order. So what is it that we must redress? What is it that we must rectify? So Metellus, from the very first speech of his to Caesar, he is trying to flatter Caesar. What does he say? Most high, most mighty, and most poisoned Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat a humble heart, and he kneels down. So see, what does Metellus say? He is addressing Caesar as most high, most mighty, and most poisoned. Poison means a very powerful person, a very strong person. So these are the words of flattery. He is hailing Caesar with words of flattery. And what does he do? He kneels down and says that Metellus Cimber, that is I throw myself before thy seat. Thy seat is your position. A humble heart, that is a commoner's heart. It is like I am a very low person and you have such powers. So that is why I kneel before you to express my petition. And so Caesar says, I must prevent thee, Cimber. Prevent means to stop. So I must restrict you, Cimber, that these couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. So what is he saying? He says that these couchings means these way of expressing, because remember Metellus was kneeling down. So these expressions, these kneelings that you are doing, these beggings that you are doing, and these lowly courtesies are humble gestures that you are showing, the kindness you are showing, the gentility that you are showing. So this kneeling, these gentleness that you are showing towards me, that might fire the blood, that is, that might flatter. Flatter who? The ordinary men. So you see, Caesar is telling here that I am no ordinary man. So he is treating himself like a godlike figure. And so these kneelings and all, if that flatters ordinary men, what happens? It turns preordinance and first decree into the law of children. So preordinance means the previous law that has already been written, the Roman law. And the first decree, that is the law that was written when the first laws were written, the beginning order. So here Caesar is saying that if I can be easily flattered, then I am an ordinary man. And this flattery is just like treating the Roman law as games of children that can be easily altered. So when children play games, like when we were children and we used to play games, and every game had its own rules, and the rules we did not like, we used to change them. So Caesar is telling that Roman laws are not like that. The previous laws, the laws that were there in the first decree, the beginning order, they must be followed. So you see, Caesar has high respect for Roman laws. He does not treat them as the law of children that can be altered anytime you wish like. So he is saying, be not fond. Fond means foolish. So don't be foolish to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood, such a false spirit. So Caesar doesn't bear such false spirit that will be thawed from the true quality. Thawed means that Caesar, he doesn't have such false spirit that will melt him, that will soften him. With that which melteth fools, with the things that can persuade fools, that foolish people can be easily persuaded by flattery. So don't think that Caesar can be melted from his true quality, from his true nature, with the help of all these flattery, all these couchings, all these lowly courtesies. Because I am no ordinary man, so you cannot fire my blood. So he says that there are fools who are easily persuaded. And how are they persuaded? By the means of, sweet words. With the help of sweet words flatter these fools. Low crooked courtesies. So low crooked courtesies are when you bow down before someone, because you see Metellus was kneeling. So he's saying that all these hunched bowings and your flatteries, your sweet words, and base spaniel fawning, that is it's like you are a dog. A spaniel is a dog. So you are just like a spaniel dog who wants to be petted by me. So if you are acting like that, then let me tell you, your petition will not be considered. So all these kneelings, all these low courtesies, these are worthless. They are useless in front of me, because I am a very constant person, constant about my decisions. I will not be flattered by you. And so he says, thy brother is deceased by decree is banished. So your brother Metellus, so Metellus' brother, he was banished. He was thrown out of Rome. And who threw him out of Rome? By decree, that is by law and order, he has been banished. He had been thrown out. He had been sent to exile. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, that is if you are bending, that is if you are kneeling and praying, that is begging, and fawning for him, that is if you are pleading for your brother who has been banished, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. I spurn means I kick you out. Like a cur, like a dog out of my way. So just go away from here before I kick you like a dog. And know, that is, remember, Caesar doth not wrong without cause. Caesar will not do anything wrong. That is, he will not punish somebody without any proper reason. Nor without cause will he be satisfied. So give me a valid reason why I should call back your brother, why I should cancel his banishment. Only then, if you can give me a proper cause, will you get back your brother. So Caesar is not going to nullify the banished brother of Metellus Cimber without getting good reason, without being satisfied with the good reason. Then Metellus says, "Is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?" So, Metellus here, he is saying that he knows that all the other conspirators are surrounding him and they are waiting to support him. So he is calling out to the conspirators and saying that, "Is there no one around me who will sound more sweet in Caesar's ears and will help me to nullify, to repeal, to cancel my banished brother?" So he is actually calling Brutus because Brutus loved Caesar and Caesar loved Brutus. So maybe if Brutus comes and says that Caesar cancel the banishment, then maybe Caesar will change his mind. And so Brutus comes up to Caesar. What does Brutus do? He kisses Caesar's hand. "I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal." So, remember Caesar had said that no one can flatter me? So, Brutus comes and kisses his hand and says that, "I am not kissing you because I want to flatter you, but I have a desire, I have a plea. And what is that desire? I want you to bring back Publius Cimber." Publius Cimber is Metellus Cimber's brother. So you bring back Publius Cimber so that he may have an immediate freedom of repeal. So that you immediately call him back to Rome and he can enjoy his freedom as a Roman. Now you must remember that Publius is one of the senators in Rome, and Publius Cimber, he is Metellus Cimber's brother. So both these characters, they are different. Publius Cimber is a character who does not appear in the drama anywhere. So he is a suspense character. Only his name is given in this drama. We know that he had been banished. We know nothing else about him. So then Caesar says, "What, Brutus? Even Brutus, you are agreeing to such a deal that I should bring back Publius Cimber when the Roman law has sent him to exile?" "Cassius, pardon Caesar. Caesar, pardon. That is, I beg you." And he falls down on Caesar's knees. "As low as to thy foot doth Cassius falls." That is, he is kneeling down to touch the foot of Caesar. And he says that, "I have fallen down to touch your foot, to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber." So enfranchisement means that I want back Publius Cimber's citizenship in Rome. Enfranchisement means the right to be a citizen of a place. So here Cassius is begging Caesar to bring back Publius Cimber, to cancel his banishment. And then look what Caesar has to say. Caesar says, "I could be well moved that your words could have flattered me." Well moved means I could have been influenced if I were as you. So if I were you, Cassius, I could be influenced. But I am not you, I am Caesar. So you cannot move me, you cannot influence me with your flattery. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. So if I can beg others to be influenced, then what will happen? Begging and pleading and all these flattery that they do on me, that would persuade me too. But I am constant as the northern star. So here he uses a simile. He compares himself to the pole star, the northern star. But I am constant. Constant means I am steady as the northern star, of whose true fixed and wrestling quality there is no fellow in the firmament. So this pole star, it is true fixed. True fixed means it is stable and it has a resting quality. It is relaxing. It doesn't move. There is no fellow in the firmament. No fellow meaning there is no equal match to the northern star, to the pole star. In the firmament, in the heavens. So in heavens you have only one pole star with no equal match that is stable and relaxing. It is constant. And Caesar says, I am like that star. I am constant with my decisions. I have no equal match. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. Here, unnumbered sparks refers to the countless stars in the sky. So the skies seem to be painted with these countless stars. They are all fire, and everyone doth smile. So every star in the sky, they have their own fire and they have their own shine. But you see, there is but one, that is the pole star, the North Star. In all doth holds his place. So he cannot be moved. He remains constant. So just like that star, so in the world, even in the world, 'tis furnished well with men. So in the sky, in heavens, you have the stars. The skies are painted with stars. And on earth, in this world, you have men. It is furnished well with men. That is, it is supplied with men. And men are flesh and blood. They are courageous and apprehensive. That is, they are intelligent. Everyone has the strength and knowledge. Yet in the number I do know but one, that unassailable holds on his rank. So among all these men I know of one man who unassailable. Unassailable means without any question, who is invincible, who is unquestionable. He holds his rank, he holds his position, unshaked of motion. Unshaked means undisturbed, unaffected. He is steadfast, and that I am he. And that person which I am talking about, who I am talking about, this unshakable person, this invincible person, that is no one but me. And now I will prove it to you that I am a constant person. So let me a little show it. Even in this decision, let me show you that I am a constant person. That I was constant, Simba should be banished, and constant to remain to keep him so. So when Simba, that is Publius Simba, when he was banished, I was ready to banish him. I was ready with that decision, and I still stick to the same decision today. And constant to remain, I keep to my decision to keep him banished. And so you see, I am just like the northern star, the pole star, which is constant. And Cinna says, "Oh Caesar." So you see all the conspirators, they were surrounding Caesar, and now they are coming closer to him. So Cinna is saying, "Oh Caesar, Caesar, hence wilt thou lift up Olympus?" So Olympus here is an allusion. Okay, it is an allusion because it has been taken from the classical myths, the Greek mythology. So according to the Greek mythology, Olympus is a mountain where the Greek gods live. And because it is such a heavenly place, that is why this mountain, it cannot be moved. It is unshakable. So Caesar is comparing himself to that mountain. He is saying that no matter what you say, you cannot shake me. You cannot move me. You cannot change my decision. So you see, he is comparing himself to something heavenly. Olympus was where the gods lived. So Caesar here again, he is proving that I am no ordinary man. I am Olympus. And then Decius says, "Great Caesar." So with all these exclamations, "Oh Caesar, great Caesar," they are all slowly coming closer to Caesar to stab him. And Caesar doesn't realize that. Caesar, doth not Brutus bootless kneel? Bootless means or useless or worthless. So he is telling that even Brutus has requested me to cancel this banishment, but I did not pay any heed to him. So when Brutus is kneeling, his request is worthless. When his request is fruitless, it is useless. Then how come you conspirators think that I will listen to you? Because I love Brutus the most. So when I am rejecting Brutus's plea, it is useless for you people to keep on kneeling, pleading, begging. And so you have Casca. Remember, Casca was given the task to stab Caesar first. And so Casca says that I will not speak much, but speak hands for me. And so he raises his sword and he stabs Caesar in the neck. So let action speak for me, and he stabs Caesar. And once he stabs Caesar, all the conspirators, they stab him. He is then stabbed by several other conspirators and last by Marcus Brutus. So even Brutus stabs him. So here you must remember who was the first one to stab Caesar? It was Casca. And who was the last one to stab Caesar? It was Marcus Brutus. And now Caesar, he is shocked. He cannot believe that Brutus was the one who is going to stab him. So Caesar says, "Et tu, Brute?" Then falls Caesar, that even Brutus, you are a conspirator. You stabbed me. Then falls Caesar. Then let Caesar die. Because this is something unbelievable for me. This is something unacceptable. Something that I cannot take. And Caesar dies. The senators and people retire in confusion. They retire meaning they depart, they withdraw. Because you see, they had come to see the coronation of Caesar. Something good about it. Because it was the Ides of March. So they had something else in mind, but instead what did they see? They saw the stabbing, the assassination of Caesar, and so they were all confused and they were just rushing here and there. Then Cinna says, "Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead." Tyranny here is referring to Caesar. That is, tyranny means dictatorship. So, because dictatorship is dead, we have liberty, we have freedom. Run hence, proclaim, cry it about the streets. So, he is asking all the conspirators and the Romans to go about in the streets of Rome and shout, "Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead." Proclaim means to announce. Then Cassius, he too is overjoyed. He says, "Some to the common pulpits and cry out." Pulpits is a stage. It is a platform, a podium. So some of you go up on the stage because it was the Senate House. So Senate House obviously will have a stage. So Cassius is telling some of you go up there and go up there and shout liberty, freedom and enfranchisement. That is, everyone will get citizenship. So there is democracy. So we have cancelled dictatorship and brought back liberty, freedom in Rome. Brutus, people and senators, be not affrighted. Affrighted means to be terrified. Please don't be afraid. Fly not, because they were rushing, they were in confusion. So Brutus is telling, please don't be in such a mess of mind. Please don't fly not. Please don't rush. Stand still. Be stable. Calm down. Because whatever has happened for a reason. And what is the reason? Ambition's debt is paid. So remember, in the first scene, Flavius had said that Caesar had growing wings and his ambition was soaring. So here Brutus says that the ambition that Caesar had to become a dictator in Rome, that is being paid. So Caesar died because he had to pay for that ambition. He wanted to be a dictator, and that is why he paid for a price for his ambition. And then Casca says, go to the pulpit, Brutus. That is, Brutus, you go up to the stage, you go up to the podium and speak to the Romans. Decius and Cassius too, because remember, Brutus and Cassius, they are the leaders of the conspiracy. So Decius is telling that Cassius, you accompany Brutus to the stage. You both speak to the Romans. Brutus, where's Publius? Here Brutus is calling Publius the senator, because they were in the Senate house. So you need one of the senators to come up on stage and speak along. So he's asking, where is he? Cinna, here, quite confounded with this mutiny. Confounded means that he is shocked by this mutiny, this act of assassination, this rebellion. Mutiny means rebellion. So Cinna, he is shocked. Not Cinna, Publius, he is shocked. This is what Cinna informs. Metellus, stand fast together, lest some friend of Caesar's should chance. So we, the conspirators, we should stand fast together. Fast means we should stand close together. And why does he think that they should stand close? Because in the crowd there must be, or there can be, some friend of Caesar, someone who loves Caesar, and they should chance, they might attack. To should chance means to chance is to attack. So this friend of Caesar might attack us. So let us stay close so that we can protect ourselves. And what does Brutus say? Talk not of standing, that is, there is no need for us to stand together. Publius, good cheer, that is, cheer up, don't be so shocked, because there is no harm intended to your person. We don't mean to harm you. We conspirators have no intention to harm you, nor to no Roman else. That is, we will neither harm you nor to any other Romans. So tell them, Publius. So he is asking Publius to go up on stage and tell the Romans that the conspirators had no intention to harm the common Romans or the senators. And Cassius says, and leave us, Publius, lest that the people rushing on us should do your age some mischief. That once you go up on stage and tell the people that there is no harm intended towards them, you leave the place. Because if you don't leave the place, then these people who are in confusion and they are rushing on us, they might hit you. They might do some harm to you. So maybe they might push you unwillingly. You might be pushed, and you are so aged. So you might be hurt. So we, the conspirators, we don't want any harm. Some mischief means some harm to be done to you because you are very old. And so Brutus says, do so. So he is telling Publius that yes, do as Casca says. Go up on stage, say that there is no harm intended to them, and then you leave the place. And let no man abide this deed, but we the doers. Abide means to suffer. So Brutus is saying that whatever deed that we have done, that is, we the conspirators, we have assassinated Caesar, we have stabbed him, we have killed him. So let us suffer this deed. Let us suffer the consequences of this deed, but not the people of Rome. But we the doers here refer to the conspirators. So let no man, let no Roman suffer this deed, but we the conspirators. And then Publius goes up on stage to say whatever he has to the Romans, and you have Trebonius entering the scene. Remember, Trebonius has gone with Antony. He had taken Antony away from Caesar so that the assassination was a success. And so now Trebonius comes back. And Cassius says, where's Antony? Because Antony is supposed to be with you. Where is he? Trebonius fled to his house amazed. Men, wives, children stare, cry out, and run as if it were doomsday. So Trebonius is saying that Antony, he fled. That is, he ran away. Where did he run away? To his house, because he was shocked, he was amazed, he was surprised that Caesar is dead. Now what about me? I am Caesar's friend. And all the men and women and children, all the other Romans, they stared at Caesar's body, the dead corpse that was lying, and they kept running here and there as if it were doomsday. Doomsday meaning as if it were the end of the world. Okay. So here you can say that doomsday, it is, because it is taken from the Bible, it is a biblical allusion. Then Brutus says, Fates, we will know your pleasures. That is, he is telling the fates that we will know your pleasures. Your pleasures means our destiny, we will know from you. Your pleasures means what you have planned for us. So, our destiny lie in your hands, fates, and we will know about it. That we shall die, we know, that we all are aware that we will die someday. We are mortal, we are aware of that. 'Tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon. So we all men, we try to draw days out. That is, we try to live longer. We try to prolong our death. So we all know that we will die, but we try to live longer. And Cassius says, why he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death. So he is saying a person who removes, he reduces, who decreases 20 years of life from his own life, he cuts off, he reduces so many years of worrying about death. So if someone dies 20 years earlier, then he does not have to think about death for those 20 years. So it is like a privilege. So Brutus says, grant that, that is, if you accept that, if you consider that to be true, and then is death a benefit? So death is something good then. It is a privilege. It is a benefit. So are we Caesar's friends? So like friends of Caesar, we have benefited him. Why? Because we have abridged his time of fearing death. We have abridged means we have decreased his time of fearing death, of worrying about death. And then Brutus, he orders the Romans, the conspirators. What does he say? Stoop, Romans, stoop. That is, stoop means to kneel down. He is telling the Romans to kneel down. And let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows and besmear our swords. So he is telling the Romans to wash their hands. Bathe your hands means to wash your hands. Wash your hands in what? In Caesar's blood till your elbows, and besmear. Besmear means cover your swords with Caesar's blood. So wash your hands in Caesar's blood and cover your swords in Caesar's blood. See, this reminds us of Calpurnia's dream that she had seen. Calpurnia had seen that there was a statue of Caesar that was giving out blood like a fountain, and everyone was washing their hands. The Romans were smiling and washing their hands. So you see, that has come to fulfillment. Here Brutus is asking the Romans to wash their hands in Caesar's blood till their elbows and cover their swords. Then walk we forth even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons over our heads, let's all cry, peace, freedom, and liberty. So Brutus is telling that after we have washed our hands and covered our swords with Caesar's blood, what will we do? We will walk in the streets of Rome, even in the marketplace, and we will wave our red weapons. You see, the swords are covered with blood, so they are red weapons. So we will wave it like a sign of victory over our heads. We will sway it in the air. And we will all cry, peace, freedom, and liberty. We will cheer for the task we have done. And so Cassius agrees to what Brutus has to say. Cassius says, stoop then and wash. So let us all kneel and wash our hands and swords. Oh, how many ages hence shall this lofty scene be acted over, in states unborn and essence yet unknown? So Cassius feels that whatever they have done, it has historical significance. And that is why many ages hence, that is many generations from that day on, shall this our lofty scene, our noble act of assassinating Caesar, this scene will be enacted over. It will be imitated by actors on stage. In states unborn, in those states which are not yet discovered, they are unborn. And essence, that are languages which we still don't know. So we have done such an incredible thing for Rome that the states that are about to be discovered, the languages which have not yet been found, even they will imitate our lofty scene, our noble act on the stages, and generations will praise us. See, and then Brutus says, how many times shall Caesar bleed in sport? So every time this is being imitated on stage, this has been reenacted on stage, that many times Caesar has to bleed. So how many times shall Caesar bleed in sport? Sport means for the purpose of entertainment, for public staging. That now on Pompey's bases lies along, no worthier than the dust. So Caesar's body was lying under Pompey's bases. Bases means Pompey's statue. So you see, it is like Pompey, he had taken revenge on Caesar for killing him, for killing his sons. It seemed like that. So the body of Caesar that was lying under Pompey's statue, it was no worthier, it was no better than the dust. It had lost its value. All the grandeur that Caesar had, it was gone. He was stabbed and he was just fallen. Cassius says, so oft as that shall be, that so often that this play shall be enacted on stage, this act of ours will be demonstrated to the audience by actors, so often shall the not of us here refers to the group of us, the conspirators. So often shall we the conspirators be called. What will the people call us? The men that gave their country liberty. So we are the men of Rome who brought liberty. So we are the ones who freed Rome from dictatorship, the dictatorship of Caesar. Decius. What shall we forth? Because everyone is running and the public is filled with fear and the stabbing has taken place, assassination is over. So Decius is saying that should we move ahead? Shall we leave this place? Cassius. Every man away. So away means leave. Let every man leave. Brutus shall lead us. So he is making Brutus the leader of their conspiracy. He is actually flattering Brutus. He is not taking the fault in his hands. He is transferring the entire fault of the assassination to Brutus. And Brutus does not realize that. So he is saying that Brutus shall lead us and we will grace his heels. Grace his heels means we will follow his footsteps with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome. So he considers that the conspirators were bold with best hearts because they had freed Rome from dictatorship, the dictatorship of Caesar. And when they are about to part, When they are about to depart from the scene, you have a servant coming in. Now, the entry of this servant is very important because this servant brings news from Antony. Antony, who had fled away to his house amazed. Remember? And that is what Trebonius had to say. So Brutus says, soft. Soft means wait, hold on. There is someone who has come here to meet us. Who comes here? Oh, a friend of Antony's. So we come to know that this servant is Antony's servant. And what does the servant say? Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. So he kneels down in front of Brutus and tells Brutus that my master has bid me, has commanded me to kneel down before you. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down. So my master is Mark Antony, and he has asked me, commanded me, ordered me to fall on my knees. And being prostrate, thus bade me say. Prostrate means to stretch out. So it's like the servant is stretching out to touch Brutus's feet. So prostrate means to stretch out. So I have to kneel and stretch out to Brutus, and Antony said that I should inform this to you. He bade me, he commanded me that this is what I have to tell you. Brutus is noble, wise, valiant and honest. So here again you see words of flattery. So Antony had sent his servant to flatter Brutus. He says that Brutus was noble, he was wise, he was valiant. Valiant means he was very brave, he was fearless, and Brutus was honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal and loving. So these were the qualities of Caesar. Say, I love Brutus. Here is I, Antony. Antony loves Brutus and he honors him. Say, I feared Caesar, honored him and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him, and be resolved how Caesar has deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living. So here Antony tells that the servant has to go to Brutus and tell Brutus that Antony loved Brutus and he honored him. He used to honor Caesar out of fear. And then he tells Brutus that he has to make two promises to Antony. Vouchsafe means that he has to promise Antony. Vouchsafe means to promise. So what are the promises that Brutus has to make? First, that Antony may safely come to him, so that there is no harm done to him when Antony enters the Senate house, so that he can safely come to the capital without being harmed. That is the first promise that Brutus has to make. And he be resolved. Resolved means that he gets a proper explanation. He be well explained how Caesar has deserved to lie in death. He wants to know why the conspirators killed Caesar, why they thought that Caesar deserved to die. So he is asking Brutus to tell him that why he killed Caesar, to give him proper reason, and so that he can come to the Senate house without being harmed. So these are the two promises that Brutus has to make. And if Brutus is ready to keep up to his promise, then Mark Antony will love Brutus more, the living Brutus more than he ever loved the dead Caesar. So his love for Brutus will be more than his love for Caesar. So here he is trying to flatter Brutus. But will follow the fortunes and affairs. Fortunes and affairs means the destiny of Rome, the destiny of noble Brutus, through the hazards of this unstraught strait with all true faith. Hazards means the hard times of Rome. So Antony is saying that I will help Brutus In these hard times of this untrodden state, untrod means unpredictable Rome, unpredictable. So, with all true faith, with all my true love for Rome, my love for Brutus, I will help him to create a republic Rome. So, says my master Antony. So the servant is telling that these are the words from my master Antony, the words that I must deliver to you. So Brutus says, thy master, that is Mark Antony, he is a wise and valiant Roman. He is wise and a brave Roman. I never thought him worse. I never thought him otherwise. For me, he has always been brave. He has always been wise. Tell Antony, so please him come unto this place. He shall be satisfied. So if Antony wants to come, if it pleases him, he wants to come to Rome, then he may come to this place, come to the capital. He shall be satisfied. That is, if he comes to the capital, I will tell him the reason why we killed Caesar. He shall be satisfied. He will get a full explanation. He will be resolved. He will get a proper explanation as to why we stabbed Caesar. And by my honor, that is, I am promising you that you will return to your master, and your master will be able to come to the capital safely. So depart untouched. Untouched means unharmed. So without any harm done to you or your master, you can come to the capital. And so the servant says, I'll fetch him presently, that I'll immediately fetch Antony. And so he leaves to bring his master. Brutus, I know that we shall have him well to friend. So Brutus thinks, see, he has been already flattered. Brutus was very weak. So Brutus, he believed in what the servant had to say. He says that I think that Antony will be a good friend to us. But Cassius, he is very suspicious about this bond of friendship that Antony has to offer. So Cassius says, I wish we may have a good friend. But yet I have a mind that fears him much. But in my thoughts, I fear Antony a lot. And I have reasons to fear him, because my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose. That is, my misgiving, that is my doubt, my suspicion. They fall shrewdly, they fall accurately to the purpose. That is, whenever I have a doubt on something, whenever I have a suspicion about something, unfortunately what happens? They prove to be correct. They shrewdly, they accurately fall in place. So the doubt, the suspicion I am having about Antony, I fear that they too will come out to be true. It will turn out to be true. So Brutus says, here comes Antony, and Antony enters. Brutus greets him, well, Mark Antony, welcome. Antony. And then Antony is seeing the dead corpse of Caesar lying under Pompey's statue. And so he says, O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low, that you are lying so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk into this little measure? So, what does Antony have to say? Antony says that Caesar, look at you, all your conquests, all the things that you achieved in life, all your glories, all your triumphs, all your victories, all your trophies and spoils, they have reduced to this little measure, this little area where you are lying dead. So he says, fare thee well. So you have lost all the worthy gloriness that you had in you. The value you had, that is all lost, because now you are dead. Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen. Now he is talking to the conspirators. What is he telling the conspirators? I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. That is, I have no idea about what you are planning. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? So who else must be? Let blood means to be killed. So who you think is as superior as Caesar? Because if there is anyone who you think is equal to Caesar, that is in his rank, he is as powerful as Caesar, then I am sure you conspirators will kill him too. So I have no idea what your plan is. So I don't know who is the next target, who is going to be killed next. But if you think that I am the person who must be killed next, there is no outfit. That is, no time is so appropriate as this, as Caesar's death hour, as this hour of death. So if you think that you want to kill me now, because this is Caesar's death hour. Nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. So kill me with the swords with which you killed the most noble blood. Noble blood here refers to Caesar's blood, because the other swords which did not kill Caesar, which does not have Caesar's blood, they are half that worth. They are not as worthy. They are half worthy. So kill me with the instrument, with the weapons that you used to kill Caesar, that are covered with Caesar's blood. They are made rich with Caesar's blood. I do beseech you, that is, I am begging you, if you bear me hard, that is, if you conspirators have any grudge against me, now whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure. So while your purpled hands, because the hands were washed in the blood of Caesar. So they were purple. They were reek and smoke. Reek and smoke means they were emitting the smell of Caesar's blood. They were smelling Caesar's blood. So with those hands of yours, those instruments which you used to kill Caesar, and at this very moment, I want you to fulfill your pleasure of killing me. Why? Because even if I live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so apt to die. So you will never find me in the upcoming years so ready to die. I am so apt to die. I am so ready to die right now. No place will please me so. So this is the best place for me to die. No mean of death. Mean means no manner of death. As here by Caesar and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age. So I want to die in this manner. I want to be stabbed by the swords that killed Caesar in this place, beside Caesar, as here by Caesar, beside Caesar's body. And I want to be cut off. I want to be stabbed by you people, you conspirators. Why? Because you conspirators are the choice and master spirits. You are the powerful leaders of this age. This age means this new Roman era that is about to start. And Brutus then says, "O Antony, beg not your death for us. Of us. So please don't beg us for your death. We will not kill you. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel as by our hands and this our present act." So if you look at our hands that is washed by Caesar's blood and our present act that we have stabbed Caesar, if you judge us by this, we will appear bloody and cruel to your eyes. You see we do. Yet see you but our hands and this the bleeding business they have done. So you are only judging us by our hands and the bleeding business that we have done. What are you not looking into? Our hearts you see not. So you are not looking into our hearts, because if you look into our hearts, you will see that they are pitiful. Pitiful means they are heartbroken. So don't judge us by our act. Don't judge us by our bloody hands, but judge us by our hearts that are sad. And pity to the general wrong of Rome. As fire drives out fire, so pity hath done this deed on Caesar. So he is saying why he had killed Caesar. What made his pity drive away? So he is saying that because I love Rome so much, there was something wrong that was going to happen to Rome. So in order to free Rome from dictatorship that was about to come, we had to kill Caesar. So we do pity Caesar, but we also pity Rome. We pity that Rome will come under dictatorship. But because I love Rome more than I love Caesar, this pity that I have for Caesar, it has been suppressed by the love I have for my country. So you see, Brutus, he is in a conflict. He is in a conflict between what he must do for the Romans and all his private affairs. And so, just the way fire drives out fire, fire puts off fire, same way the pity I have for Rome has put off the pity I have for Caesar. For your part, that is for your part, Antony, to you our swords have leaden points. That is, if we try to kill you, stab you, you cannot die. Because if we turn our swords towards you, our swords have leaden points. Leaden means they are blunt. That is, our swords are not meant to kill you, Mark Antony. You are safe. Our arms in strength of malice and our hearts of brother's temper. So, our arms, that is our hands filled with Caesar's blood, it may seem of malice, of hatred. But our hearts, they are filled with brother's temper, that is brother's love. So with brother's love and hands of hatred, which it looks like, we do receive you in. So remember, Antony had said, I want to join the conspirators. So here Brutus is saying that yes, you are welcome in our group. I receive you in our group. With all kind of love, good thoughts and reverence. So with love, good thoughts and all admiration, you can enter our group. I welcome you. And Cassius says, your voice, that is Brutus's voice, Brutus's opinion, shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities. So a man was allotted, he was appointed to select new government officials. So just as strong as that man whose opinion matters so much, Brutus, your opinion about choosing men for our conspirators group, it matters equally. So your opinion is very important in the disposing of new dignities. Disposing means in the selection of new dignities. Your dignities, new dignities refers to adding new members in a group. Then Brutus says, only be patient till we have appeased. So he is asking Antony to be patient. Till they have appeased. Appeased means they have calmed down. Remember the Romans, they were all in confusion because the assassination had taken place. So Brutus is telling, let the Romans calm down first. The multitude, that is the commoners of Rome, the masses, beside themselves with fear, let them come out of their fear, and then we will deliver to you the cause. That is, I will tell you the reason why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, I loved Caesar when I stabbed him, have thus proceeded. So I will tell you why we did kill Caesar after the Romans have calmed down. And so Antony says, I doubt not of your wisdom. That is, I don't doubt that you are wise, Brutus. So you must definitely have some reason for delaying this reasoning as to why you killed Caesar. So I am not doubting your wisdom. But since now I am a part of your group, let me Let me shake hands with all the conspirators. Let each man render me his bloody hand. So their hands were bloody, covered with the blood of Caesar. So let each man render. Render means give me his hand. So he's going to shake his hands with all the conspirators. First, Marcus Brutus, will I shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand. Now Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours, Metellus, yours, Cinna, and my valiant Casca. Valiant Casca? My brave Casca. Yours. Though last, not least in love, yours, good Trebonius. Gentlemen all. So he's being sarcastic, you see. He's calling them gentlemen. And then he says, alas, what shall I say? That I have nothing more to say. And why don't I have anything more to say? Because my credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceit me. So my credit, my reputation in front of you conspirators, they are on slippery grounds. That is, I am very untrustworthy. I cannot be relied upon in front of you. Why? Because you conceit me, you consider me either to be a coward or a flatterer. Because remember, Antony, he had fled away when the assassination took place. So maybe you think that I am a coward because I fled away. Maybe you think I am a coward because I sent my servant. Maybe you think I am a flatterer because I say I love Brutus more than Caesar. Maybe you think I am a flatterer because I am shaking hands with you. So in both ways, they are bad. So my reputation in front of your eyes has already fallen flat. So I have nothing much to say. And then he sees the body of Caesar and he says, that I did love thee, Caesar, 'tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee, dearest, than thy death, to see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes? So he is telling Caesar that I loved you a lot, Caesar, but if your spirit now looks upon me, that what I am doing, it will grieve, it will be sad more than your death, more than your stabbing. Because you will see, what will you see? You will see Antony is making peace. He's extending the hands of friendship. He's shaking his bloody fingers with your enemies. And that too, in the presence of thy corse. Your corse means your corpse in front of your dead body. What am I doing? I am extending my hands of friendship with your conspirators. And that will grieve you. Had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as this stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. So he is saying that if I had eyes, because Caesar was wounded, he was stabbed in so many times. So he is telling that if I had so many eyes, the way you have wounds streaming out blood, then I would cry so much you have no idea, Caesar. And that would have been better than to close in terms of friendship. Close means to join hands with your conspirators. So I would rather weep for you than become a part of your conspirators group. That would have been better for me. Pardon me, Julius, here was thou bade. So pardon me, that is, please, you forgive me. Here was thou bade, you were brought down here, brave heart. Heart means a male deer, a stag. Here didst thou fall, and here thy hunters stand. Your hunters refer to the conspirators. So a stag was let free and it was let to run near a bay. A bay is it's like a water body. It's near a water body. So this male deer, it was freed, and when the free deer, it became tired and it rested. You know what happened? The hunting dogs were thrown towards the deer, and these hunting dogs went and chased the deer and they killed the deer. They killed the stag. And so here what Antony is saying, that Caesar, you went to the Senate house, and all the conspirators like hunters, they attacked you, and you had a brave heart too. Heart is a pun, you see. It not only refers to a stag, the way Caesar was killed, but also refers to the brave heart of Caesar, the courageous heart of Caesar. Signed in thy spoil and crimsoned in thy lead. Signed means marked in thy spoil, marked in your blood, and crimsoned, that is reddened in your lead. Lead also refers to Caesar's blood. So the hands of the conspirators were reddened, were crimsoned in Caesar's blood. O thou wast the forest to this heart, O world. So, if you compare the world to a forest, then Caesar was a hart, a stag, who lived in that forest freely. And this, that is Caesar, this stag, O world, the heart of thee, that is, it was like the reason why you breathed, it was so dear to you. How like a deer strucken by many princes, strucken means stabbed by many princes, dost thou here lie. So Caesar, it seems like many princes have come and they have stabbed you the way they stab a stag, and so here under Pompey's statue you are lying, dead. Cassius, Mark Antony. Now Cassius is surprised as to what Mark Antony is saying. He's calling the conspirators, he's equating them as hunters. So Antony says, pardon me, Caius Cassius, the enemy of Caesar shall say this. Then in a friend it is cold modesty. Cold modesty means bitter truth. So he's saying that even if someone is Caesar's enemy, even he is going to address him in this way. But I am his friend. So this is the bitter truth that I am saying. So Cassius says that I don't blame you for praising Caesar. But what compact? Compact means what contract, what bond mean you to have with us? So what unity, what contract of bond do you mean to have with us conspirators? Will you be picked in number of our friends? Shall we consider you as our friend? Picked means to be counted. Or shall we move on? That is, shall we move on and not depend on you and not think about you at all? Antony, therefore I took your hand. So when I entered and I shook hands with you, I wanted to be friends with you. But was indeed that yes, truly I was swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. So when I saw Caesar's dead body, I was swayed, I was distracted. Friends am I with you all and love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous. So I am friends with you, I love you, and I also hope that you will give me proper reasons as to why you people killed Caesar. And Brutus says, or else, that is, if we are unable to give you a proper reason why we kill Caesar, then this act of us is a savage spectacle. Savage spectacle means a violent act, a wild performance. Our reasons are so full of great regard, that is, the reasons we have for stabbing Caesar, they are so thoughtful that were you, Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied. That is, if you were Caesar's son, Antony, even then you would be pleased by the decision that we have taken. Satisfied means happy, to be pleased. And so Antony says, that's all I seek, that is all I ask for. I want to be satisfied, pleased with the reason. I am, moreover, suitor. So I have another petition to make, another request to make. And what is that? That I may produce his body to the marketplace. I may produce the body of Caesar in the marketplace. And in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in order of his funeral. So, in Caesar's funeral, as a friend of his, I want to speak for him in the pulpit, in the platform, in the funeral ceremony, I will get up on the platform and I will speak about Caesar. This is what is my request is. This is what I want to do. And so Brutus agrees to that. He says, you shall, Mark Antony. That is, you can go up on stage and speak about Caesar. Cassius, Brutus, a word with you. Now Brutus, he can understand, he can smell that something is wrong. And so he is asking Brutus, Cassius is asking Brutus to come aside. You know not what you do, that you don't understand what you are doing. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. That don't agree. Don't consent means do not agree to Antony's plea. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter? Do you know that how much the Romans will be influenced by his words? And so Brutus says, by your pardon, that is, listen to me, Cassius, pardon me, I will myself into the pulpit first and show the reason of our Caesar's death. So I will be the one who will get up on the stage first and I will tell the Romans why Caesar had to die. What Antony shall speak, I will protest. Protest means I will declare. So I will tell Antony what he has to speak on stage. He speaks by leave and by permission. By leave means by request. So he has requested us, we have granted his request, and that is why he is allowed to speak on stage by permission. And that we are contended, Caesar shall have all true rites and lawful ceremonies. So now that Caesar is dead, we will perform all his true rites, that is all the religious rituals and all the lawful ceremonies that he should get. And when the people of Rome will see that we are allowing his friend to speak for him, we are performing all the religious rites, the lawful ceremonies, that shall more advantage us more than do us wrong. So this is not going to harm us anyway. Rather, the Romans will think good about us. And Cassius says, I know not what may fall. That is, I don't know what is going to happen. Fall means to happen. I like it not. So this is something which I am not liking at all. Brutus, Mark Antony. So he is going to Mark Antony to instruct him that what he has to do. Here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, and speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you'll do it by our permission. Else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral. So he is allowing Antony to have Caesar's body. And he says that in your funeral speech, you will not blame the conspirators. Rather, you will speak good about Caesar. All the good things that you can devise of. Devise of means you can remember. And say you are doing it, that is, you are delivering your speech by our permission. That is, we have given you the permission to speak at his funeral. Only if you agree to these terms, you are allowed to speak in the funeral, or you will have no hand at all. That is, you will not be allowed to do anything. And he says that, and you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going after my speech is ended. That is, I, Brutus, I will get up on stage and I will be the first one to deliver the speech. After my speech ends, you can go up to the pulpit, you can get up on stage on the platform and say whatever you have to say. Now Antony says, be it so, I do desire no more. That is, I am happy with that. I have no problem with that. And so Brutus says, prepare the body of Caesar, and then follow us. That is, we are leaving. You prepare the body and you follow us. And everyone leaves except Antony. So this is Antony's soliloquy. He looks at the body of Caesar and he tells Caesar many things, to which we come to know what are the real intentions of Antony. Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. So, bleeding piece of earth here refers to Caesar's body. So, Antony is telling Caesar to forgive him, because he is meek and gentle, that is, he is peaceful and friendly with these butchers. The butchers here refer to the conspirators. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tides of time. So he is telling Caesar that you are the remains of the noblest person that has ever lived in the history of times, in the past. So you are the remains of someone who is very noble. Woe to the hands that shed this costly blood. So let disaster fall on those hands that has caused this to you, that has shed your costly, your priceless, your rich blood. That is, disaster strike on your conspirators. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, that is, I predict, which like such dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. So all these wounds of yours, they are like ruby lips, and because they are wounds, they are speechless, they are dumb mouths. And I can predict that these wounds want me to say something. They are begging me to voice for them, because they are speechless, they are dumb. And what do they want me to say? That a curse shall light upon the limbs of men. So a curse will fall upon the Romans. And what will the curse be? Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all parts of Italy. So there will be domestic violence among brothers. There will be civil strife, a civil war that will cumber, that will burden all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use. It will become so common, destruction and bloodshed. And dreadful objects, dreadful events will become so familiar that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with their hands of war. So when mothers will hold their dead babies, their quartered, their killed infants, their killed babies, and they will witness their killed babies in the hands of war, the babies who have been killed in the civil war, what will the mothers do? They will smile. All pity choked with custom of fell deeds. Fell deeds means evil deeds. So pity, all the compassion and love that people have, that will be choked by evil doings. And these will become a usual activity, and so these evil doings will turn out to be like a custom, a ritual. And when all this thing is happening, what will happen? Caesar's spirit raging for revenge. Raging for revenge means hunting for revenge, with 8 by his side, come hot from hell. 8 is the Greek goddess of revenge. So with 8 coming from hell, rushing up from hell, Caesar will hunt for revenge from the conspirators. He shall rise from his dead and shall in these confines in the regions of Rome, with a monarch's voice, like with a commanding voice, he is going to cry havoc. So he is going to declare destruction in Rome. And let slip the dogs of war that this foul deed shall smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial. So here Antony is saying that when Caesar is going to declare war, it is going to let slip, that is, it is going to unleash the dogs of war, the destructive war, that this foul deed, this deed of murder that has taken place with him, shall smell above the earth with carrion men. Carrion means dead men, and groaning for burial. They will be begging for burial. So after the destruction has been announced by Caesar, all the men of Rome, they will die and they will beg for their burial. This is how they will repent for the murder of Caesar. And then you have a servant entering, a servant who has been sent from Octavius Caesar, who Julius Caesar had called for. So Antony, he sees the servant and says, "You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?" Servant, I do, Mark Antony, that yes, I am Octavius's servant. Antony, Caesar did write for him to come to Rome. So Caesar had called Octavius Caesar. He had written to him. Servant, he did receive his letters and is coming, and bid me say to you by word of mouth. By word of mouth means personally. So Octavius Caesar has sent me to tell you that he is coming. And then the servant sees the dead body of Caesar. Oh Caesar, Antony, thy heart is big, get thee apart and weep. That is, you are full of emotions. Your heart is big, emotional. Get thee apart, that get some privacy, and weep and cry for Caesar. Passion I see is catching. Is catching means it is contagious. Emotion is contagious. For my eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, began to water. So he is telling the servant that because emotion is so contagious, when I see that you are crying, the beads of sorrow, the tears that are there in your eyes are provoking my tears. So seeing you cry, even I want to cry for Caesar. So is thy master coming? Is Octavius coming? Servant, he lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome. So he lies, that is, he is resting, he is on his way. And where is he? Within 7 leagues of Rome, that is 21 miles away from Rome. Then Antony says, Mark Antony, post back with speed, that is, go back to your master. Post back means get up on your horse and ride back quickly, with speed. Quickly go to him. And go to him and tell him what hath chanced, what has happened in Rome. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius yet. So Octavius should not come right now because Rome is mourning and is in a dangerous state. Hie hence and tell him so. That hie means to hurry. Hurry and go and tell him this. Yet stay a while, thou shalt not back, till I have borne this corpse into the marketplace. So you will definitely hurry to him, but stay a while. You shall not back. Not back means you will not leave. Till I have borne, till I have carried this corpse of Caesar to the marketplace. And when I go to the marketplace, what will I do? There shall I try in my oration. In my oration means in my speech, I will try how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men. Meaning I will speak to the people of Rome and I will take, that is, I will see how the people, they are thinking of this cruel issue, this assassination of Caesar, of these bloody men. So I will see how the Romans attack and how they react to the thing that the conspirators have done. These bloody men, the conspirators have done this cruel act, how the people are thinking about it. According to the response of the people, thou shalt discourse, that is, you will return back to Octavius. To young Octavius, discourse means report back. To young Octavius of the state of things. So you will go back to Octavius and you will tell him about whatever you see. We will both observe how the Romans react to Caesar's murder. So you have to rush and go and inform Octavius. But before you rush and leave, I want you to accompany me to the marketplace and I want you to witness how the Romans react to the assassination of Caesar, whether they are still in support of Caesar or are they, the Romans were fickle-minded, so maybe they don't love Caesar anymore and now they are in love with Brutus. So let us see how the public responds. Accordingly, you go back to Octavius and you tell him to come. So lend me your hand, that is, help me to carry the corpse of Caesar to the marketplace. And then they both leave with Caesar's body to the marketplace. So with this we come to an end of Act 3, Scene 1. So I hope it is clear to you, and if you have any doubt, you can write in the comments below. I will definitely answer. Till then, ta-ta.